I'm a shitty guru if I'm ever going to try to be that. Like, I'm just never going to be like I'm never going to try. And in the past, I mean, the reason I got to be Betty Rocker is because I used to put that pressure on myself. I used to drive myself crazy trying to have like a perfect stomach, and like my ass needed to be like this perfect thing, and like I needed to do all these specific things in order to look exactly like I wanted to look in a bikini. And like, that is such a fucking mind fuck. I'm sorry. I know I say fuck a lot, but it's
all right. Explicit podcast, and we'll put a little tag on there.
Betty Rocker swears on camera, but I'm sorry, but like, those are the things that used to drive me crazy, and they sucked away my happiness. And it was really when I started to just believe in myself and who I am as a human being, and take away like this onus of how I'm supposed to look all the time. I mean, I had many adventures on the way to figuring this stuff out, but I think what really got me over that hump was I got kind of a lucky break. I got an email from Whole Foods one day about 5 years ago, and they were like, "Hey, one of our store employees just lost 50 pounds in the last year reading your blog." And this was back when the Betty Rocker blog was just a piece of shit. Like, I just put some stuff about how I had this one page that was called Eat Like Me, and I just broke it down exactly what I did. And this is like, this is eating clean and exercising the way I do now. I mean, this is really like how I figured out how to like stop being an alcoholic. I mean, this was the kind of stuff that finding balance in my life is what cured a lot of my demons, right? And really empowering myself through the food choices and the body choices that I was making was really starting to help me see myself as a whole person instead of just this sexy little body, right? Because that's how we're trained when we're young, especially if you grow up. I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little deep, but if you grow up a girl, a lot of the times you're praised because you're pretty. And I'm sorry, but that sucks a lot, because you have this pressure on yourself that what's good about you is that you're pretty. And you know what? It's awesome to be pretty. It's awesome to be beautiful. But there's so much more to being beautiful than like this stereotypical bullshit that we like see every day. So I feel like what got me over that hump was I started putting that stuff out there, putting out what I was doing. And then I received someone said, "Hey, I actually benefited from the things that you said." And, you know, I would get like the occasional comment on the blog, but there wasn't a lot there. And then I get this person from Whole Foods who's like, "Hey, this employee lost 50 pounds reading your blog over the last year. And would you be willing to come in and teach a cooking class?" And I was like, "Awesome. I'm scared. I'll do it." So I started going in, and my classes would get standing room only after a couple months. And I became like a regular feature there. But having knowing people wanted to listen to me made me really step up my game and realize that I actually had something valuable to say and to share. And it made me believe in myself enough to actually write a book and actually give this knowledge that I had. And I got to tell you, I do not think that I would be this person, this Betty Rocker that you guys see right now, if it wasn't for that belief that other people had in me, and for my opportunity to try and motivate other people, to try and share. And that's why I say it's up to you. Like, you have to actually share what you know with other people. You have to get over your own fears and your own shit. I mean, we're always going to be scared. I'm scared still all the time when I have to talk to a lot of people, but I do anyway, because if I just sit in my house and like hide and like keep all that stuff inside me, who in their house right now might not be benefiting from something that I might happen to say? I don't care if 1,000 people hear me and only one person benefits. Like, if that person actually gets something that they needed to hear, fuck, that's what I'm here for, right? Like, and I know it's not just one person out of 1,000 now, because I've seen thousands of people take my challenges and just thrive. And that's what I'm trying to do, is create a thriving community of like fit people living this healthy lifestyle of awesome. Man, I talk a lot.
No, that was good. I love it when people can just open up and share their past and be honest. You know, there's nothing worse than when you get somebody for an interview and it sounds like they're just like they're canned, like maybe like their PR person is like sitting right off the screen, like giving them the yes or the no. You know, I hate that kind of stuff.
Me too. I haven't really had the opportunity. I got to tell you, Tyler, when we met, I just thought I agree. I think we see the world in a very similar way, and I really vibed with your principles, and I am really excited to work with you. And I really think that I've not been this candid or this open in any interviews before, and I think that's a lot thanks to you, because you really, I feel comfortable with you, and I know that your audience must be just as cool as you, or we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation.
They're a very cool audience. Absolutely. Well, I want to segue into some other stuff. You talked about cooking at Whole Foods, and
Yes.
I know that you're actually probably way more known for your cooking than you are for your exercise stuff. So let's talk a little bit about that. What do you eat? What is important to you? I know you do green smoothies. So let's talk about the regular stuff, and then let's talk about green smoothies after that.
Sure. Let's see. Basically, I got a friend, Sean Croxton, who has this thing called Just Eat Real Food, and I don't think there's...
Sean's been on the call before.
Sean's a badass guy, okay?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I have one of his t-shirts. It says Jerf and hashtag. I love Sean, and I really can't think of a better way to sum up the way that I eat. I eat real food, basically, and I find creative ways to incorporate it. But there is one thing that I disagree with the sort of hardcore paleo community on, and that is I don't think grains are the freaking antichrist. I think that grains, and there's all this different, there's so much conflicting information out there, and there's so many differing opinions.
Yes.
And I gotta say that no matter where you start in the diet train, whether it's counting calories, whether you're doing the blood type diet, whatever the hell it is, good for you, because self-experimentation is what leads to discovery of what works.
Preach it. That is what I'm talking about right there. Sorry, I had to cut you off with that big thing, because like I've been more and more over the years, I'm taking away from, like, hey, this is the way we have to do carbs, and this is the way we have to do this. I'm just moving it back to like, hey, if you're not willing to try something, then you're never going to get anywhere. And I don't care what it is, even if it's Nutri-Systems or something like that. Do I think that's the best? Heck no. I'm not going to go with that for any of my clients. But you have to try something, and just trying something and even failing at it is proof that you're willing to take action. And that's what gets results.
What I teach you in the Body Fuel System is I want you to become a food nerd. I want you to become like your own scientific experiment. Like, sure. I want you to try my style of eating, and I hope it gives you a foundation for your life of like actually meal planning and having a grocery list and going, because these are like the keys. Like, I don't care what style of eating you have. If you don't have a fucking plan every week and you're not actually trying to follow it and having some general idea of protein, carbs, fats, and greens in your daily diet, then fuck, you're just gonna fail. I mean, So you gotta try different things to find out what works. You have to. It's like super important. But I will say, like, I don't have beef with paleo. I actually think paleo is a wonderful thing that came out because it caught on, and that so many people are now eating so much more real foods. Sure. But there's some deeper knowledge that I feel is important to share. And when it comes to grains, I think that what we're missing is this wisdom of how Native people actually prepared their grains. They soak, sprout, or ferment them. And I know in our busy lives, we're way too fucking busy to soak, sprout, or ferment our grains, right? Like, I can't do that.
Right.
However, there's plenty of things you can do. Like, you can buy sprouted grain bread. Like, gluten is not the devil. Gluten is a protein found in some grains, and wheat primarily, that actually is very irritating to our digestive system because we don't have a 4-chambered stomach like ruminants who can actually break that stuff down with all their stomach acid and stomach juices. We just don't have that capability. So no, we're not meant to eat like gluten every day. You're not supposed to eat bread every single day, but you can eat sprouted grain bread. I have a couple slices of sprouted grain toast almost every day, and my stomach looks pretty damn good, I gotta say. Like, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to feel like you can never eat bread again. You just need to know a few like key things about how your food is prepared, which is probably true of the entire spectrum of whole foods that we're talking about. But definitely soaked, sprouted, or fermented. I mean, fermented beans, same thing. We lack there's a sugar in beans that our body can't break down. Sometimes you can break it down in your large intestine, and it of course has the byproduct of gas, which is why a lot of people have gas when they eat beans. But there's a lot more science to it than just eliminating whole foods, because they're bad for you. I mean, gluten will clog you up if you eat too much of it, but if you actually have sprouted grain bread, or you have soaked your grains overnight and allowed for that natural process of breakdown of the phytic acid and the other anti-nutrients that are on the grain, as well as some of the gluten and harder to digest proteins, I mean, your system is they're basically going to come into your system partially pre-digested, so your body can easily assimilate and break them down. Now, if you try to do this on a system that has been inundated with crap for years, you may not have a great result. You may want to actually clean all those potential irritants out of your system for a good solid month. And that's why my Body Fuel system is actually gluten-free, dairy-free. And it's not grain-free. I do have quinoa and overnight oats and that kind of stuff in there, but it's very, very simple. So I just really think that, so basically how I eat every day, I wake up, I have some toast, I have grass-fed butter on it, I have eggs from the past. I live in Marin County, so I get to go to the farmer's market and buy my eggs, which is, I'm so grateful.
Aren't they the best eggs? Aren't just like fresh pastured eggs just
like
amazing?
Orange yolks.
Yeah,
They're
like the sun.
They're like the sun. So, and then I have a side of like, I do some sauteed greens with garlic, or I like to make a big mixed green salad every week to have on the side of my eggs or have on the side of something. And then, usually a couple hours later, I'll have a snack. I'll have nuts or homemade protein bars that I like to make. Lunch, freaking chili or some kind of chicken stew that I've made. I'm really simple with cooking. I like to just throw things in a crock pot and like let them cook. I like to cook breakfast a lot, so I cook a lot of breakfast. And then, I usually go to the gym at some point in the afternoon. I'm not a morning person at all or a morning gym person. So I go to the gym and then I protein shake, some carbs afterwards, and come home and make a killer dinner. Usually I like to have fish a lot. I've been cooking fish lately. I'm really into pestos, so I like to do.
You can do some wicked pestos on salmon and stuff like that. Ooh.
It's like my favorite. I'm into this pumpkin seed pesto I've been making. I just tried out this pumpkin seed. I really like pumpkin seeds. They're full of all these amazing things that are so good for us. But just a real simple pumpkin seeds, walnuts, garlic, olive oil, basil, a little bit of parsley. And then olive oil, and I don't think I don't do cheese in my pesto. I use walnuts actually because they give it like this real creamy consistency. Sure. They're killer.
Just food processor blam, and you can put that on anything.
Yeah, put it on anything. I actually mixed it into. I was making a pasta sauce. This company Capello's, they send me like their insanely good gluten-free, grain-free noodles, and they're this cool company from Denver that I'm a huge fan of, and they have this like chocolate chip cookie dough that's gluten-free, grain-free too that they'll send you. But anyway, I wanted to make a pasta sauce to put on their noodles, and I put that pesto in it in the sauce with like the tomatoes while it was cooking down, a little red wine, and some chicken stock, and just throw everything in the pan. This was so good. There's actually a picture of it on my Instagram right now. I just posted it. I put the recipe for the tomato sauce on there too.
That's fantastic. So, I'm just going to take like a listener's perspective right now, right? Obviously, you're a very lean for a lady, and you're talking about, pasta and cookies and having toast and everything like that. A lot of people on their heads right now might be like resistant to that. Like, wow, like I'm told all this other stuff. Yeah, look at those